Welcome back. Okay, we're going to begin with the overview for the death of the tip. Again, I'm Leah Taylor, and I'm happy to make your acquaintance and to be your reader. If you have the book, you can read along with me, but I will let you know that I will probably add a little bit to this. I'll ad-lib, actually, while I read this book. So, again, you can purchase the book at reallyleah.com or at any online booksellers, or you can, shoot me some comments and some questions. I really want to help people. So, anyway, let's get started. The overview of the death of the tip. And I'm looking down also because I'm having to read the book. It would be nice if I had memorized this entire book, but there's no way in the world. Just couldn't make that happen. Alrighty. Okay, so let's begin. On one occasion or another, every human being has considered giving a non-monetary tip in some form or fashion. The question is why? This book is the answer. It carries the heavy burden placed on the average Joe and Jill consumer like myself, and it scripts their thoughts to share with business owners and professionals all over the world who are oftentimes unaware of how this barter system, give and take, is supposed to work, or are unaware of their employees' destructive actions. A lot of times managers aren't paying enough attention to what's going on actually in their stores. Whatever the cause, this epidemic called bad customer service seems determined to kill the enjoyment that comes from giving a good tip, maintaining brand loyalty, etc. And it has forced us, again, the consumer, to keep our money in our pockets and leave a little note on a napkin instead. As humans, we are all fallible, and sometimes we have a bad day. But whether poor performed service is given intentionally or accidentally, it has lasting results, right? You remember the last time you had poor service. Take these scenarios, for instance. What if FedEx forgot to deliver your packages on time? You would call UPS the next time. What if the Cheesecake Factory started serving day-old cheesecake? Right? You would start patronizing Copeland's Cheesecake Bistro or pick up a slice from out of the Barnes & Noble's deli. What if your cellular service would not correct your bill? When your contract was up, you would switch to another, right? What if you're in France and Hermes will not let you into the store during regular business hours and you're a high-profile person with a very large television show? And I'm not calling any names, but what if that would happen? You would go to Gucci and shell out an exorbitant amount of money on clothes and handbags and send the photos of your shopping excursion to Hermes with a card that reads, "You're lost." You might not, but I certainly would. So how does a company show that they don't take their customers' investment in them for granted? That's the answer you'll find in this book, because as a business owner, I know that no one goes into business, invests years of sweat and tears to lose money. Business-minded people go into business to make one thing: profits. Profits they can use to create a better life for them and their families. And if they want to do some things in the community as well, it enables them to do that. That's the bottom line, and that is why I've written this book, to help the economy, to help the economy and get the money circulating again. This book is not meant to poke fun, although some of the tips are humorous. It's not intended to be preachy, although the message is serious. It is, however, an honest observation over my career in business development and training, coupled with personal experiences of what works and what does not. And I believe with all of my heart that if a professional or a corporation uses these tips, these 21 tips, they will see an increase in profits in their life and in their bank accounts. The Death of the Tip is not just a how-to book, but it is an operational guide to follow into the practice of superior customer service develops into a natural response, because some people don't have it naturally. But everybody can learn how to be a good customer service provider. Aristotle is quoted as saying, quote, that habit's but a long practice friend, and this becomes men's nature in the end. With 21 days as the approximate time required before a person creates a new behavior pattern, the manageable, laconic doses of instruction in this book are easy to exercise, they're fun to read, and when practiced, they can result into higher earning potential, improved health, stress-free, and an overall better attitude about your work. Isn't that good? A person who does their job well is worth every dollar. And my intention is to see that every business, employee, vendor, and supplier learns the larger benefit of serving well. I remember my uncle would start with a base rate and then allow a tip to grow based on actual service. This would happen all the time when we went out to restaurants with him. He was always fair and overly generous when the person deserved it. However, if you were on the wrong end of the service odometer, you might find George Washington sitting all alone. I believe one reason my uncle was such a good steward of his tip was because he had always been in the business of serving. Earning several promotions and accolades, he understood how serving others was supposed to work. The reality is that we have a deadly outbreak that is spreading with the increase of technology, just like I'm doing right here. But intimacy is being replaced by a form of efficiency. And many companies have pressed the delete button on their customer service training. But the masses are crying out, Joe and Jill Consumer, we're crying out, your service stinks. It is rotten and slowly decaying, but it does not have to. The solution really is up to you. So here's the tip. Not the 15, 18, and now 20% gratuity forced upon us, or the automatic renewals that take our choice away. But in this book, there are 21 tried and true tips that will help us all have a win-win experience. Tips that will make us a burgeoning economy once again. At least I hope so. From the valet with his hand out to the contractor who hired the hand, from the boardroom to the front desk, there is always room for improvement. And something for everyone in this book. There is also a bonus chapter dedicated to equipping the customer. This short chapter gives customers proactive tips on what they can do to receive better service. Customer service training is one of the simplest, most cost-effective upgrades your business can make. And it sets you apart for profits over the competition, because the spirit is willing, but the flesh gets weak. I want to help you day by day. So I'm going to do these at least every day until the 21st day. And then we may start again, or we may do some other things depending on, how the Spirit leads. Therefore, it is my supreme hope that the death of the tip will encourage you to exhibit grace in your relationships with consumers and customers, and that you will ultimately resurrect the validity of the tip. Thank you.